I'm the team I had second. You had third. Actually, no. All right, we'll get back to that. I want to hear why you have the Cardinals. Good. I have them third. You have them second. Arizona Cardinals.
So Cardinals, I have going two, and it's not because they've gotten better. I just think the Niners have gotten worse, and if you look at the Cardinals' offseason moves, they really did nothing. They added Trey McBride in the draft, who was going to back up Zach Ertz.
Hollywood.
They got Hollywood, I know, but they also lost D-Hop for 6 games, and I don't know. I just think they didn't get much better, and the Niners got worse, in my opinion. So that's why I put them 2. And the Seahawks aren't really in competition with those teams. We know why. But it's more of the Niners getting worse than the Cardinals getting better. I think the Cardinals kind of stayed the same. The Rams stayed the same, and the 49ers got a little worse. And the Seahawks got a lot worse. So that's how I ranked them, kind of.
Maybe I can't think of it, but who did the Niners lose?
Niners, their offensive guru, their offensive mind. They lost Mostert, which who cares? He's never playing for them. They lost Tart, who's kind of buns. But I really just think that offensive, that he was with Shanahan forever, McDaniel. I really do think that's going to affect them. I don't care. I just think it's going to affect them. And their schedule is kind of easy, but so is the Cardinals. That division's kind of got an easy schedule. But I just think they get a little worse. I truly do.
So with the Cardinals, Kyler has tend to have some struggles with Diop out. He just has. Diop obviously didn't have his best season last year, but that was more due to injury than his actual play itself. And the one thing with the Cardinals is they always seem to start off the season hot. They start off on fire, and then mid-season they have a collapse. And
well, it's not even necessarily mid-season. They have these flashes throughout the whole season where they're like, wow, this team's the best team in football. I think at one point last year, before that, I think it was after they lost to the Packers because they were undefeated the first 5 weeks. I was like, this is the best team in football. They have they're playing amazing, and then they just suck. Like they lost 2 blowout games last year to the Lions, and I wrote it down. They lost to the Lions and they lost to the Panthers by a lot. Like they just lose bad games, and then they play good teams and they kick their ass. So they're the most confusing team in football, but I think they just stayed the same skill level. What were you saying?
Yeah, but I mean, what's it called? I think the struggles have a bit to do with Kyler. I think it has a lot to do with the coach, Kingsbury. I think he's definitely in the hot seat this year. But I don't think they can afford, if D Hop is out, if they start off slow, how are they going to finish the season this year? Just based off what we've seen season by season, right? They obviously brought in Hollywood Brown, who should be able to help a little bit. Obviously, Kyler and Hollywood have some good chemistry from college. They brought back AJ Green. They lost Christian Kirk, although, replace Christian Kirk with Hollywood Brown. I don't think you're going to get too much worse from that. See how Rondell Moore does. Zach Ertz for the full year. Now Trey McBride at tight end should be able to help.
Hey, Zach, I'm hearing a video.
What was that?
I'm hearing a video on your side.
I guess I accidentally turned volume on my TV.
Okay.
Hopefully you guys didn't hear too much of that. But yeah, what was it saying? Running back wise, they lost Chase Edmonds, but they brought in Darrell Williams. I think he'll complement James Conner all right. Although I think James Conner's a bit better as a pass receiving back than as a rusher himself. So we'll go and see how that run game is, without Chase Edmonds there. Defensively, they lost Chandler Jones, who's going to be a good loss for them. Their defense, doesn't scare me too much, if I'm being completely honest with you. They have Byron Murphy at corner, who I like. Next to them, they have Marco Wilson, who guess wait and see. They got Buda Baker at safety, who's good. They got some potential linebackers, but, I feel like it's more potential than production at this point with their linebacking group. Maybe Isaiah Simmons or Zayvon Collins is able to reach the potential, but let's wait and see. Their D-line doesn't scare me too much. J.J. Watt obviously isn't defense player of the year level J.J. Watt. Marcus Golden's decent. But overall, the defense, I don't think it's going to produce at the level it did last year. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But I'm not the biggest fan of their defense. And, the offense, I do have some big question marks with them, with how Kyler's played and how the run game might be this year without Edmonds.
Can I say this, man? And it's kind of off topic. It's about the Cardinals, but it just seems like they get the most amazing talent at linebacker, and they just waste it every time. Like Hassan Reddick, I loved out of Temple, and he didn't do anything until that last year, the contract year. And then now he goes on these other teams, and he's amazing still. Panthers, he was amazing. Like, they just waste talent there. Isaiah Simmons should not be as quiet by any means. He's an unbelievable talent skill-wise. He should not be that quiet. Zaven Collins, I love Zaven Collins out of college, out of Tulsa. It seems like you go there and you're just quiet, unless you're Jordan Hicks that just gets a shitload of tackles. You just go there and you're quiet. I don't get it. Like, they do not, when they draft linebackers, they don't use them well. And I can't put that on the players because it's always the Cardinals. And it's always the Cardinals where they draft these amazing first-round linebackers that are supposed to be goons, and they suck, or they're quiet. It's got to be a Cardinal thing, but I don't think the linebackers are bad. I don't think Zaven Collins is a bad player. I don't think Isaiah Simmons is a bust by any means.
No.
They're just not being used right. They just don't use linebackers right. They never have.
Yeah, they always draft the same type of linebacker. Seems like Hassan Reddick, Isaiah Simmons, and Zaven Collins are all very similar. The way they're built, the way they play. Maybe that's the issue. But
I mean, Hassan Reddick's more of an edge rusher, but yeah, it's like they're both they're all explosive players. 100%.
They try to linebacker basically,
and they don't work there. They never use them in the right positions. Isaiah Simmons needs to be a box safety. That's what he needs to be. Zaven Collins needs to be your Mike linebacker, which I think they're doing this year because Jordan Hicks is on the Vikings now. But Zaven Collins should have an improved role. He's a Mike linebacker, and that's where they're probably going to use him this year. But Simmons needs to be a box safety. I think that's where he's going to be amazing. Put Budda Baker at the free. Put Isaiah Simmons at the box strong safety. That's amazing. And I don't know if that's what they're doing this year, but they should, because that's what their skill sets match.